What's up everybody, it's LaMuerteBlanca. We are back with another explained video. This time we are discussing what many believe to be one of the greatest RPGs of all time, Persona 5 Royale. Easily our biggest project to date, this masterpiece of a game has a lot going on and there's no way a recap can truly cover everything with the depth this game deserves. I cannot recommend enough that you play this for yourself to get the full experience. However, if you are one of those that cannot spare the 120 plus hours to play and truly appreciate this masterpiece, don't worry, I got you. So the game starts off and you're this random dude who looks like he's at the wrong masquerade party because these Matrix agent Smiths are trying to catch you while you're ripping the faces off weird ass monsters. Lost already? Don't worry, everyone is at this point. You get caught, someone snitched and you were sold out. You end up in an interrogation room hopped up on drugs. I'm assuming it's a true serum, but who knows what's in that syringe. For the sake of canon, we'll call ourselves Ren, even though Daddy D's is obviously so much better. Prosecutor Sai Nijima shows up demanding answers. Still high off whatever was in that syringe, a butterfly floats by telling you to save the world. The key lies within your memory, and just like that, what would a good RPG be without a time hop? Half a year ago, Ren had to move in with Sojiro Sakura. Right now, he's just a douche that owns a coffee shop, but soon you'll learn to appreciate him as the game progresses. Ren got arrested because he stopped some asshole from assaulting a woman. The guy hurt himself and ended up suing Ren. Since he has a criminal record, he was expelled from his high school and had to transfer. That night, Ren wakes up in chains and is welcomed to the Velvet Room. All too familiar to Persona fans, the Velvet Room is the space between dream and reality, where those bound by a contract may enter. A contract to basically save the world. However, this time our protagonist is in chains, and Igor, the dude who looks like Penguin's skinny-ass cousin, has a suspiciously deep voice compared to what he had in Persona 4. They must have had a new voice actor. Also different are his assistants. This time we get Caroline and Justine, twin wardens that are super bitchy for people who look like they're only 10 years old. To add to the chaos, there have been accidents as people are experiencing what some call psychotic breakdowns. Inexplicable situations like runaway trains from seemingly normal people. Even crazier, this app Ren keeps deleting is constantly popping on his phone. I get it, doesn't sound like much, but on his way to his first day of school, somehow the app activates and instead of a school, he and the discount Bakugo who just met end up in a creepy ass castle. Because why wouldn't you explore the weird castle that's supposed to be your school? They do, and get captured and thrown in a dungeon. Eventually, they're approached by the Japanese Jim from the Office TV show. He's supposed to be Kamoshida, the school's volleyball coach, but clearly something's not right. Dude has yellow eyes, there are knights with swords, and he's not wearing pants. That can't be school dress code. Right before these weird-ass knights are about to kill our mans, he rips his mask off and awakens to his persona. Persona bodies the guards, and they try to escape. Because this game only gets weirder on their way out, they find a cat that swears it's a human and not actually a cat. Talking anime cat, remember, not a cat, name is Morgana, and says he'll help them get out of the castle. He also has a persona and apparently knows all about this weird world, just won't tell you about it yet. Ren and fake Bakugo, let's call him Ryuji, finally escape and Ren's app says he's returned to the real world. That night, Ren wakes up in the Velvet Room and Igor explains that he's the one that created the app. It's the metaverse navigator that allows Ren to go between reality and the metaverse, or the world where the castle is. And no, I don't believe Igor's actually working with Zuckerberg, otherwise there'd be an ad every 10 seconds. The next day, Ryuji knows Kamoshida's sus, this castle's sus, and wants to go back. They use the app to do just that, and the cat, again, not a cat, rolls up. Morgana starts dropping knowledge. This castle, also known as a palace, is part of the metaverse, aka the cognitive world. Here, the ruler's distorted desires have materialized. It's basically a VR chat server. I mean, Morgana is a furry. Kamoshida sees the school as his castle. He is king despite missing all of his clothes, and the volleyball team are his slaves. Having a persona means you have the will of the rebellion, and the fancy new clothes Ren is wearing is an image of that. Morgana trains them how to be phantom thieves as they investigate the castle and see Kamoshida's guards beating the hell out of the cognitive volleyball team, because this is how Kamoshida views the team in real life. He likely abuses them in reality as well. On their way out, they run into Shadow Kamoshida, or the suppressed version of his true self. Shadow Kamoshida starts talking shit to Ryuji about past events, and the guards fuck up Ren and Morgana. Ryuji gets tired of Kamoshida's bullshit, awakens to his persona, and takes out the guards. The homies dip when more guards show up, and they decide to try to get evidence on the real Kamoshida. They get a player on the team to confess, but he says it's useless. The principal and everyone else knows but turn a blind eye because the volleyball team gets results. As they discuss what to do next, the talking cat rolls up. It's Morgana. So now he's a cat in the real world, but again, he's not a cat. If they want to do something about Kamoshida, they need to go after his palace. The palace is his distorted desires, so if it is no more, his desires are gone as well. This is essentially forcing Kamoshida to have what they call a change of heart, to which he will confess his crimes. In order to get rid of the palace, they must steal the treasure. More on that later. At this point, I just want to know what they're smoking in this think tank. They must have been like, okay, all right, check this out. A talking cat is going to tell two delinquents how to sneak into the cognition of a pedo abusive volleyball coach and use magical creatures built from their own personalities to steal treasure like pirates. This will force him to see the error of his ways and confess. And of course, naturally, everyone at this meeting is like, holy shit, that's a great fucking idea. Anyway, one of the girls from the volleyball team decides to throw herself off the roof. Kamoshida abused her so much she's willing to take her own life. That girl also happens to be the best friend of An, a blonde girl Kamoshida is trying to get with and being a massive pedo for. Anne knows Ren and Ryuji are up to something regarding Kamoshida and sneaks into the metaverse with them. But like any good blonde, she gets her ass caught. But this just pisses her off and she awakens to her persona to kick everyone's ass. For the record, she's in skin-tight leather suit, knee-high boots, and her weapon is a whip. Could not be any more obvious that she is a dami mommy. Japanese devs still simping. The group retreats for the time being and they explain everything to An. She wants to get revenge on what Kamoshida did to her friend and joins the group. Morgana finally explains that the treasure is the physical form of a palace ruler's distorted desires. If they steal the desire, the palace will disappear. However, the treasure won't actually materialize until the ruler is aware the desire might be stolen. In order to do this, a calling card must be sent to the palace ruler. So, Ryuji plasters one all over the school. The treasure manifests, Morgana starts humping Kamoshida's desires. Yeah, about that. Then Shadow Kamoshida's all like, go naked volleyball spike! And gets his treasure back. The asshole perv talks more shit and morphs into Pink Gene Simmons, but none of that matters because fuck him, he loses. Phantom thieves steal the treasure, persuade the shadow he's an asshole, and the palace crumbles. Later, the real Kamoshida confesses to everything and turns himself in. The group celebrates as Kamoshida's all over the news and the Phantom Thieves are getting somewhat popular. The group decides to continue to change hearts in order to help those in need. Meanwhile, Kingpin from Spider-Man, the principal of the school, tasked Student Council President Makoto to investigate the rumors surrounding Kamoshida and the Phantom Thieves. He's answering to someone who wants the incident investigated, looks shady as hell. While the Phantom Thieves decide on the next target, Morgana teaches them about mementos, or the collective unconscious and desires of the general public. And because a talking cat and all his consciousness stuff wasn't enough for the shit these devs are smoking, Morgana can now turn into a car. Japanese A-team is here, y'all. The school hires Dr. Maruki, who offers counseling to the homies since they were involved with the perv directly. Ren accepts and builds a relationship with him over the course of the game. More on him later. Real quick, I know I've talked a lot and we barely started because of all the background info. For the sake of time, we're going to skim the other palaces and hit the really important stuff. Try to keep up. The Phantom Thieves target Madarame next. He's a famous artist that steals and plagiarizes his pupils' work in exchange for their livelihoods. He basically sees them as slaves. He's also secretly counterfeiting art to make money. Yusuke, and an artist, and that annoying guy who talks in allegory and metaphor all the time, everyone knows one of those, finds out Madarame has been lying to him this whole time when he confronts Golden Kabuki Man, aka Shadow Madarame. This creates an internal crisis, awakening Yusuke's persona, and he joins the Phantom Thieves. The Phantom Thieves find the treasure, plaster the calling card everywhere, and confront Shadow Madarame for the materialized treasure. We learn Madarame let Yusuke's mother die so he could steal her final painting, a sentimental piece that was actually made for her son. Madarame then took Yusuke in to use his talents for personal gain. Yo, fuck this guy. So they body paint by numbers Picasso, convince him he's a total piece of shit, but as Shadow Madarame is begging for his life, he mentions a man with a black mask. Who? While waiting for Madarame's confession, Ren meets Kasumi. She's a gymnast, but don't get too excited. Eventually you find out it's rhythmic gymnastics. Still impressive, kinda, but definitely not the same thing, nor what I originally expected. Despite this, she's still number one waifu. Fight me. Madarame has his change of heart and confesses his crimes. With this being the Phantom Thieves' second target and a high-profile one at that, their popularity continues to grow. Sai, the prosecutor interrogating Ren present day, starts investigating these incidents along with the psychotic breakdowns, and her boss, the director of the Special Investigators Unit, is extra sus because he's always talking on the phone about seedy shit. The group goes on a field trip to a TV station where they meet Akechi, a hotshot ace detective. Think Naoto if you know anything about Persona 4. Finally, some of the connections begin to reveal themselves. Makoto is Sai's sister. Sai and Akechi are working together on the mental shutdown cases, and Ren was sued by a bald guy with a goatee. Classic bad guy trope. It's always the fucking bald guy. This asshole coerced the woman he was assaulting to lie to the police about Ren, which is why he got his criminal record. Kingpin continues to pressure Makoto about investigating the Phantom Thieves, and she ends up figuring it out. She offers a deal. She'll keep the secret if they can change the heart of a mafia boss who extorts and threatens students into working for him indefinitely. Kaneshiro. Kaneshiro sees the city as his bank, and people are nothing but ATMs he can extort money from. This purple people eater looking mullet is Shadow Kaneshiro, and Makoto starts getting pissed when he targets her uselessness complex and threatens her and Sai into human trafficking. Homegirl awakens to her persona, a motorcycle. Wait, what? Are we really running out of ideas already? She bodies the guards with nuclear explosions and joins the Phantom Thieves as their advisor. Eventually, they find the treasure, drop the calling card, and confront Shadow Kaneshiro again. Guy turns into Baxter Stockman from the Ninja Turtles and jumps into Piggytron. Still wondering what these devs are smoking. Pig and Fly get theirs. As Kaneshiro is groveling, he mentions there's another criminal who's using palaces for personal gain and doesn't care about consequences like psychotic breakdowns. Is it the guy in the black mask? We catch a glimpse of the sus SIU director talking with Ren's principal about shady shit. Told you we couldn't trust him. Kingpin is interested in investigating the Phantom Thieves because he's working for Scrooge McDuck. That's the SIU director, for those of you not keeping up with all my terrible jokes. Kaneshiro eventually turns himself in because of a change of heart. Sai and Akechi begin to suspect the Phantom Thieves even more. Cutting back to SIU, he flat out mentions the danger of exposing the metaverse and plans to somehow blame the mental shutdown on the Phantom Thieves. A hacktivist group called Medjed is now calling out the Phantom Thieves. They want the homies to stop what they're doing and reveal themselves, or Medjed will bring economic ruin to Japan. Conveniently, an unknown hacker named Alibaba reaches out to Ren. They know he's the leader of the Phantom Thieves and say they can stop Medjed if they change the heart of Futaba Sakura. Also convenient is that Sojiro's last name is Sakura. Futaba happens to be his adopted daughter. According to Sojiro, he and Futaba's mother go way back. She was very into her work even after Futaba was born, but one day she committed suicide. Futaba blames herself for the suicide. Since then, she's been a total shut-in, completely closed off from society. They get to Futaba's palace and it's a tomb. She's imprisoned by her own guilt. Different from other palaces, Futaba's shadow is helping her to see the truth. A truth that her mother was a cognitive scientist researching everything the Phantom Thieves are experiencing. She was actually killed by someone trying to hide her research. And those same people convinced little Futaba that her mother killed herself because she couldn't handle Futaba anymore. That's fucked up. So fucked up that Futaba's cognition of her mother is a giant Sphinx mommy who talks mad shit while beating the hell out of Phantom Thieves. Eventually, Futaba sees the truth and Pharaoh's shadow Futaba turns into a UFO. Just go with it. We got a motorcycle already. Just go with it. Sphinx mommy continues to talk shit until her dying breath, and as the palace crumbles, On yeets Morgana so he can transform. Then they all get absorbed into the back of the van that suspiciously looks like an asshole. Okay, and they get away. Futaba takes a long-ass nap, hacks into Medjed, and stops their plan, stops being a shut-in, and joins the team to get more information about her mother's death. Futaba believes her mother experienced a mental shutdown because her cognitive version was killed. As the news continues, oh shit, the guy who sued Ren is a politician? Man's name is Shido, and he's using these events to incite a new political regime. He's also got weird-ass glasses. I mean, who's trying to see everything in an orange tint? As Ren gets to know Akechi, he learns Akechi was abandoned by his father when his mom got pregnant. This despair led to her death, and he was passed between foster homes. Damn. Coincidentally, it just so happens that Maruki, the therapist Ren saw after Kamoshida, is also into cognitive science. Principal Kingpin is about to go to the police station and snitch when he gets destroyed by a truck. Sai and the police suspect the mental shutdowns are the Phantom Thieves because they are like changes of heart. Phantom Thieves decide to start investigating the true culprit behind these mental shutdowns, and with no leads, Makoto swipes files from her sister's laptop, and Futaba manages to learn that the majority of the incidents have one beneficiary, Okumura, CEO of Okumura Foods. There's been a suspicious amount of scandals and resignations for Okumura's competition, and this asshole is willing to sacrifice anything to get ahead, including his own daughter. Then Morgana gets all butthurt because Ryuji called him useless, and he decides to get Okumura's treasure all by himself. Stupid cat, again, not a cat, gets bodied but is saved by Haru, Okumura's daughter? Her dad's out of control, and she joined the Phantom Thieves to make amends. She stumbled into the metaverse by pure chance after following Morgana in when he went out on his own. The group does the thing, treasure, calling card, beat Shadow Okuma's dark side Buzz Lightyear cosplay, and makes him confess in being a complete asshole. After the Phantom Thieves leave, oh shit, the guy in the black mask assassinates Okuma's shadow. But before we finish that, we split off to do something completely different. Kasumi gets the metaverse app and transport herself to an unknown palace. Ren and Morgana go after her and find Shadows beating up what looks like a cognitive version of herself. Kasumi's tired of everyone's unrealistic expectations, so she awakens to her persona, beats down the Shadow, and they all dip. Despite getting this awesome power, she decides not to become a Phantom Thief. Then what the hell was all of that for? Back to Okumura. Dude turns into a Resident Evil 7 baddie literally in the middle of his change of heart. Mental shutdown on live TV. This was all set up by SIU director and mystery phone guy to pin everything on the Phantom Thieves. He even officially assigned Sai to investigate the Phantom Thieves, all in an effort to eradicate them. It's only a matter of time before the group gets caught, so Makoto proposes striking a deal with Akechi in order to get further intel regarding their situation. Turns out Akechi knows they are Phantom Thieves and has the evidence to prove it. He also confesses he has the same powers and can traverse the metaverse. Akechi believes the Phantom Thieves are innocent because he himself has seen the culprit. His deal is he'll ignore the evidence if they help him catch the culprit. If not, he'll turn them all into the police. Sounds more like blackmail to me. Akechi proposes changing Sai's heart. She's corrupt to the point of an unlawful means to catch the Phantom Thieves, and she's now a target for the true culprit because an Okumura-like death on the lead investigator would definitely incriminate the Phantom Thieves. They get to Sai's palace with Akechi do the sneaky thieves thing and finally face Sai for her treasure. Side note, all my adult simps out there, it's okay. Unlike most of the other females in this game, you're legally allowed to simp for Shadow Sai if you're into the emo elegance look, or also simp for Lady Demiscu. Must be the hat. Well, at least until she turns into Demon Silent Hill boss thing with the extra sharp nips. Or you might be into that too. Whatever, do you, no judgment here. They get Shadow Side to repent, but then Futaba gets massive readings all over the place. They are getting ambushed. With no other way to escape, Ren decides to act as a decoy, and we finally made it full circle to the start of the game. As we've stated earlier, Ren tries to escape, gets caught because he was sold out, and is in the interrogation room jugged up on the good stuff. After hearing the whole story, Sai offers Ren a deal. Sell out the rest of the squad, and she'll lighten the sentence. Agree to this, and you're given the first of our multiple endings. The bad one. As Sai is leaving interrogation, Akechi, of all people, shows up, and he's acting extra sus. Akechi goes to Ren's room, shoots the guard. What? Says the Phantom Thieves were vital to their plan. What? And then shoots Ren in the head. Holy fuck, what? Akechi was in on it with the SIU director? Anyway, you're dead, and the credits roll. That's what you get for being a bitch and snitching on the homies. If you tell Sai, you ain't no snitch, the game will continue. Sai begins to question her own beliefs as the drugs in Ren's system begin to wear off and specific memories start to come back. Akechi's the traitor that sold out Ren. Akechi is the true culprit causing the mental shutdowns. Holy shit. Ren remembers Sai has to show Akechi a phone. She magically trusts Ren now, so she does. Just like in the bad ending, Akechi shoots the guard and shoots Ren in the head. Well, so much for that. Game's over. Not quite. We're just getting started because what? Akechi is working for Shido? The dude that put Ren in this whole mess from the very beginning is pulling the strings on the plot. They make Ren's death look like a suicide and kill off the SIU director. No loose ends. Alibaba, aka Futaba, then contacts Sai on the mystery phone and tells her to save Ren. Hold up, he's alive? He just got shot in the face. Ren is transported back to the Velvet Room where he regains his lost memories. Morgana and Ren were onto Akechi ever since he made the deal with the Phantom Thieves. Know why? Pancakes. That's right, all the way back when they first met Akechi at the TV station, he made a comment when Morgana mentioned wanting pancakes. Remember, you can't speak cat unless you've already been to the metaverse, even though he's not a cat. This was months before Akechi struck that deal with them, and in fact, Akechi claimed he unlocked his powers only a month prior. They get Futaba to wiretap Akechi's phone, find out he's the true culprit, and get evidence of the plan to ambush and frame the Phantom Thieves while also killing Ren. To counter this, they come up with an insane plan to let Ren get caught and bait Akechi into killing a cognitive Ren while in Sai's palace. Outside of the casino, everything looked completely normal, including the interrogation room. So what was the phone for? Futaba managed to remotely activate the metaverse app when Sai showed Akechi the phone, and then deactivated it after Alibaba told Sai to save Ren. Sai got the real Ren out of interrogation and dumped his drugged ass off at Sojiro's. Finally, shout out to dumbass bad guys because no one double checked to make sure Ren was actually dead. Now Sai and Sojiro are all in on assisting the Phantom Thieves. All of Japan believes Ren's dead, and Shido plans to use all of this to get elected as the next prime minister. For the record, Shido is behind everything as he climbed the political ladder, using Akechi for the mental collapses, the Phantom Thieves setup, even Futaba's mother's death. All Shido. They get to Shido's palace and it's a big ass boat. Even if the country sinks, he will survive along with those he deems worthy. Asshole. As the Phantom Thieves look for Shido's treasure, they run into Akechi? Plot twist! Akechi isn't actually cooperating with Shido. He wants Shido to acknowledge him and then exact his revenge. What revenge, you say? Remember Akechi's douchebag father that abandoned him? Yeah, that's Shido. What? This is some Star Wars shit for real. Akechi's pissed the Phantom Thieves are ruining his plans, so he breaks out his fake lightsaber and gets his ass kicked. Like any good Japanese RPG, he reveals his true form, the Black Mask. His bloodlust boils over and uses his ability to turn people psychotic on himself. But he gets his ass kicked again anyway. Because you can never get too complicated, Shido's cognitive Akechi rolls up and pulls a gun on the real Akechi. Fake Akechi says Shido planned on killing real Akechi after the election because he's a liability. His own son. Asshole. Akechi then shoots his fake and seals the blast door so the Phantom Thieves can't get to him. Is that it for Akechi? Phantom Thieves eventually find the treasure and go all out for the calling card. Futaba hacks the damn country and plays a video revealing Ren is still alive. They're coming for that ass, Shido. As the guy behind everything, you'd think Shido's shadow would be some crazy monster thing, but nah. He's just a brolic ass dude, but still gets his ass beat. As you'd guess by now, Shido confesses to everything. Sai is working on prosecuting him and is also working on protecting Ren. You know, because breaking out of police custody is still illegal. Despite all this, people are still believing in Shido, and it's like the Phantom Thieves never existed. The hell is going on? If something isn't done, Shido's going to get off innocent, and the corruption will only get worse. But they changed his heart. Morgana says they have to go to the depths of mementos. Remember, that's the palace of the general public. There has to be something that explains why everyone's acting so strange. After a very long, tedious trek through a demonic subway system, they reach the core of mementos. It's a massive jail housing people's shadows, and it's ruled by a demonic cup. Cup starts talking and calls itself the Holy Grail, and it's in charge of the prison of regression, housing the collective desires of humanity. Because humanity is worthless, can't think for themselves, and wants to be controlled, they are willing to surrender their cognition and have willingly created their own prison. I blame social media. Phantom Thieves go after the Holy Grail, but it just transports them away. It's too busy combining the real world with mementos, and no one even notices because they're giving up their cognition already. I mean, it's raining red, there's bones everywhere. How do you not see this? Oh shit. The Phantom Thieves are now starting to dissolve, because if you're not in anyone's cognition, you don't exist. Holy Grail owns humanity's cognition, is making them forget the Phantom Thieves. Ren wakes up in the Velvet Room, and Igor's basically like, game over, you suck, now die. Refusing to quit though, Ren fights back. He gets bodied by Justine and Caroline, but the fight and that butterfly from the beginning of the game makes them realize they can't forsake humanity. They end up fusing to become Lavenza, the true assistant to this Velvet Room. She was torn apart by a malevolent will, and that butterfly was her last call for help. Fully restored, she calls out, Igor, wait. And he starts going all demonic. Wait, he's the Holy Grail? Told you that deep ass voice was sus. Holy Grail clarifies, saying it is a god that responds to the desires of man. This whole thing with Ren was just a game to see if humanity was worth sparing. They're not, because despite the Phantom Thieves' social reform, no one really cares. The god then offers Ren a choice to return the world to its prior state. Phantom Thieves will have fame, there will be no ruin, but humanity will remain in its own cognitive prison. If Ren takes the deal, you get the original quote-unquote good ending that's actually not that good. Phantom Thieves are accepted and popular, Ren does the cool anime glasses thing, but the world is still imprisoned by their own cognition. If Ren tells a god to go fuck himself, God leaves, real Igor comes back, so do the homies. They all find out Morgana was created by Igor before the Velvet Room was taken over. As the embodiment of humanity's hope, Morgana's mission was to find Ren and help him stop the ruin. Lavenza explains the god is the core of mementos itself and must be stopped to save humanity. So 7 teenagers in weird cosplays and a cat, who we can finally confirm is actually not a cat, confront the god of control, aka fake Igor, aka the Holy Grail, aka the big ass transformer that jumped out of Bayonetta. And because this game isn't confusing enough, with each transformation, its name changes as well. Now we're fighting Yaldabaoth. So how does one destroy a god hell-bent on purging humanity? Call in your own Bayonetta boss and then shoot it in the face. One tap, bitch. After the cleanest headshot in Persona history, Yaldabaoth fades away along with Mementos and Morgana. Annoying talking cat that was actually humanity's hope has faded away. Sai finds Ren, and with the public's cognition back to normal, she can prosecute Shido, but also needs Ren to turn himself in. She needs his testimony, but the cops won't let his crime slide. Then Akechi rolls up. Wait, what? He's alive? He offers to turn himself in instead and testify against Shido in order to make amends. The group celebrates Christmas, the annoying cat is back, and it's actually a cat now finally. Apparently, only his metaverse version disappeared. But we're not done yet. Royale's additional content is here, and on New Year's Day, there's some weird stuff going on. Morgana's human? Futaba's mother's alive? The fuck? Akechi's not in jail? Thankfully, he knows it's sus too and attempts to figure out what's going on with Ren until they get a call from Kasumi. She found a palace. In reality, this makes no sense. It's the same palace where Kasumi awakened to her persona. After some investigation, they run into Maruki, the therapist? Maruki is the palace's ruler and has the power to alter reality. He desires to give everyone their ideal reality and end all suffering. Using Kasumi as an example, he shows them her past. Again, if this game wasn't confusing enough, we learn Kasumi is not actually Kasumi. She is Sumire, Kasumi's little sister. The real Kasumi died trying to save her sister's life. Sumire couldn't handle the guilt of robbing her sister of her dream and was seeing Dr. Maruki even before he arrived at Ren's school. Sumire wanted to be Kasumi in order to turn her sister's dream into a reality. Maruki, at that point, was researching cognitive science and has some of his powers. He used that power to actualize Sumire's wish. What Maruki calls salvation, Akechi calls brainwashing, but Sumire gives in to Maruki's offer, and eventually the tentacle porn that Japanese media seems to love so much gets a hold of her. Maruki gives Ren a week to see the world for himself and draw his own conclusions, especially since all of the other Phantom Thieves have already given in to Maruki's reality. Ren spends the week helping his friends see the truth, but he and Akechi end up meeting Maruki alone. Maruki offers Ren a choice: live happily in his reality or fight for a non-distorted world of pain. If Ren accepts Maruki's offer, you get Royale's bad ending. They live happy lives, but it's all controlled by Maruki as they give up free will. Basically, the god of control without the purge. If Ren sides with Akechi, Sumire loses her shit and you have to fight the waifu even after the tentacle porn messes her up and drives her persona berserk. Thankfully, the homies come to their senses just in time and help out. They save Sumire and Maruki dips, giving them a few weeks to provide a final answer to his offer. They decide to steal his desires and save humanity. Again. Lavenza fills everyone in on what the hell is going on. Maruki has managed to combine his power of altering cognition with mementos, allowing him to alter everyone's cognition. He simply filled the void left by the defeated god of control. Since the god of control is defeated, mementos and reality are becoming their own worlds again, but they are not completely separate, and Maruki is attempting to refuse both worlds to permanently instill his actualized reality. Sumire finally joins the Phantom Thieves and they go after Maruki's desires. Maruki's waiting for them with his favorite cult outfit and tentacle porn persona. The homies take him out, steal his treasure, and dip. Psych! This is the final boss of a JRPG. Of course there's going to be more than 2 phases. Man force pulls his treasure back, didn't know you could do that, and awakens his persona's next form, the golden iron giant. Size doesn't mean shit. That's what she said. And they body Maruki again. Man has no quit though, so we're on to phase 3 when he fuses with his own persona, which likes punching the ground in front of our squad instead of attacking them directly. Feel like direct hits would be far more useful in this situation. Shout out to dumbass bad guys. Let's see who's been paying attention. How do you kill a big boss that seemingly can't be stopped? That's right, headshots! Ren gets that smooth collap metal when he pops Gold Giant and Maruki with one shot. Fuck you guys. No more boss phases. The palace begins to crumble and there's no escape for the crew until Morgana manages to turn into a damn helicopter. If this wasn't already ridiculous enough. Are we done yet? No, because as the group is trying to escape, Maruki is back for more. Dude, just fucking die. Ren jumps down and they have a street brawl while the entire world is collapsing. Finally, Maruki gives up, collapses, and the ground underneath him begins to crumble. Fuck, Ren, why? Just let him go and end it. Also, no way that skinny ass teen is holding the entire weight of a grown man with one hand. Not like anything else has been realistic to this point, but still. White light flashes, Ren's in the velvet room, Igor's long-ass nose drops the GGs, and Lavenza says time will continue, but past events will automatically be rewritten to occur the way they should have. All this means is Ren's going to jail. Remember when Sai needed him to turn himself in, and then Akechi stepped in? Yeah, the Akechi part was all part of Maruki's reality. All the homies he's met over the last year helped get him out, and his record is expunged. The lady he saved from Shido finally came forward and provided an honest testimony. Finally, Morgana accepts he's a cat, and Ren says his goodbyes to everyone before he leaves. On the day of Ren's departure, we witness the game's true ending. The homies are going to drop him off at the station, but are being tailed for some reason that makes no sense to me because I thought we already did everything and it was all over. Maruki, of all people, stopped by and offers him a taxi ride. Guess he's pulling a Kidu from Yakuza 5. Maruki simply drops Ren off. The homies roll up and offer a very quick goodbye. Ren briefly runs into Kasumi/Sumire at the station, who offers nothing but a take care, even though she's likely the canon waifu, and then he and Morgana just get on a train and leave. Honestly, I was kind of disappointed with the final cutscene. It is my fault for comparing it to Persona 4's first-class character development, but still. But that wasn't the final cutscene. After the credits roll, a suspicious person wearing very similar clothing to Akechi walks by, and then Ren sees his mask in the reflection. And that's Persona 5 Royale. Don't forget, we can't trust adults because they're all corrupt. Actually, we can't even have faith in humanity because we know they'll mess it up. So instead, let's all get saved by a group of misfit teenagers who achieved true enlightenment before graduating high school. I mean, why not? If you found this video helpful or at all entertaining, please be sure to like, subscribe, and enable notifications so you don't miss any amazing future content. Also, be sure to let me know in the comments what other games you guys want to see. We've already done a ton of other explain videos, so make sure you check the channel for those as well. I'm LaMuerteBlanca. I'll catch you guys next time.